Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy Friday Eve.
How are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you guys? Yes,
Can't believe it's already Thursday.
I know. You know how I know it's close to Friday? I kept my clip in my hand.
Oh,
Oh.
quick
Boom.
wardrobe change.
I mean, I'm just saying, hey, thanks so much for being here for KARE 11 News at noon. You know, lunchtime is when we get it all together, right? There is a lot going on as we come on the air, of course.
Yeah, I'm staying on top of the Minneapolis City Council meeting that's underway right now. They're having a conversation surrounding homeless encampments in the wake of 3 recent shootings. So I'll have more on that in a minute.
Okay, and we'll definitely be checking on that. But first, let's get a quick look at the weather with Johnny Z. It's hot, my friend.
It's another hot day. Another hot day. It's sunny outside. We're hitting 80 degrees. Look at that sun. Blue skies all of a sudden. It's almost like we forgot that it was raining earlier on. 82 degrees. Temperatures have warmed up, but the humidity is also driving here. 82 with the 64 degree dew point. We actually have a heat index. So we're starting to see the temperatures build here. 82 in the Twin Cities, 83 in Mankato, 78 in St. Cloud. Now, as you look at the radar, the rain has now all shifted off towards Eau Claire, and we are nice and sunny here, and that is going to set up a good chance that we'll have an isolated thunderstorm. It's not going to be very long, but around 4, 5, or 6 o'clock, we are going to be talking about that chance for some rain working in here. And as I'll give you a little bit of this future radar so you can see we're mainly dry. This is actually until 2 o'clock. But as you get into the 4, 5, 6 o'clock hour here, you see a couple of storms try to develop around the cities, and then we'll be looking at a line trying to form. Now, a lot of this is going to be in Wisconsin later on tonight, but it's the first couple of storms that could give some of us some rain. We'll time the whole thing out for you in your forecast.
John, thank you. And before we get to Cece, we're following breaking news happening just outside of our KARE 11 studio. A driver is hurt after crashing into a Hopkins school bus in the last 3 hours. Take a look at your screen. The crash was caught on traffic cameras on Highway 55 and Boone Avenue. You can see right there the bus appears to be making a left turn. When the driver slams into the intersection, they get pinned underneath. We also have video from the aftermath of the crash. Thankfully, no students were on board at the time of this, but the person in the vehicle was taken to the hospital. We'll continue to update the story as we learn more. Happening now, the Minneapolis City Council has been weighing an ordinance on the city's homeless encampments and the removal process. It comes just hours after Minneapolis police made an arrest linked to 3 shootings in the last 24 hours. That all happened blocks away from an encampment in the Phillips neighborhood. Cece, I know that you've been looking into this. What can you tell us about the new developments?
Yeah, we can get into those developments this afternoon. Right now, we know that a man is sitting in jail this afternoon while investigators trying to figure out why these shootings happened. There were 3 shootings, so a lot to break down. So let's start with the first shooting, which we brought to you breaking during sunrise yesterday. It was near a homeless encampment on 17th Avenue South. The gunman allegedly pulled the trigger on 2 people and killed one of them. Then about 12 hours later, just a few blocks away on Bloomington Avenue South, police say he walked up to someone and shot him in the head. He died at the scene. Then around 7 last night on 17th Avenue South, police believe the suspect shot someone near the encampment where this all started. That victim is in the hospital this afternoon, seriously injured. Now, as we speak, the Minneapolis City Council is meeting, and one of the agenda items is about encampment removal. When we learn what they say about that, you'll be the first to know.
So, Cece, do the police specifically the Minneapolis Police Department have any data on crime near these encampments?
Yeah, well, Police Chief Brian O'Hara recently released statistics about crimes near encampments. It shows about 19% of all the gun violence in the precinct and nearly 1/4 of all shooting victims in the precinct were within about 500 feet of an encampment. O'Hara says that's extremely tragic and frustrating for them.
We are going to continue to report on this. Cece, thank you for that insight. Developing right now, we're waiting to hear back from Maple Grove officials about a deadly house fire overnight. This was the scene around 12 hours ago at a home on Lancaster Lane. Our photographer says they saw a body being removed from the house. They also saw the medical examiner on scene. Once we hear back from Maple Grove officials, we'll update you right away. Well, new at noon, a Brooklyn Park police officer is recovering in the hospital after getting in an accident in the squad car on their way to a scene. It happened just before 2 in the morning in the 7500 block of Regent Avenue North. The department says that the officer was responding to help other officers who were fighting with someone when they got into the crash. Both the squad car and the other vehicle were heavily damaged, and 2 other people also had to go to the hospital. We have new details about a deadly hit and run in downtown Minneapolis that killed a 16-year-old girl. Right now, 22-year-old Latalia Margali is in jail with a bail set by a judge at $1.5 million. According to a criminal complaint, Margali is accused of driving her SUV into a crowd and killing a 16-year-old girl named Demaya Broom and injuring 5 others last Saturday. Prosecutors say that they believe that she intended to kill based on a threat she allegedly made before plowing into the group who were fighting. She's now charged with second-degree murder and 5 counts of second-degree assault. We need to catch you up on a breaking story we first talked to you about in our newscast yesterday. Now, right now, 3 people are in the hospital following an accident at a Wisconsin apple orchard. Several others were injured. The Chippewa Falls Sheriff's Office says it happened at the Bushel and Peck Orchard in Lafayette. Deputies say that the group was on a school field trip when one of the tractors pulling a wagon lost control going down a hill and overturned.
It's a parent's greatest fear that something happens to their children. The children were extremely brave, very resilient, extremely brave. I'm very proud of every one of those kiddos and the chaperones.
It's still unclear what caused the tractor to lose control, but the crash remains under investigation. We're taking a live look now at the big board at the New York Stock Exchange. Right now, U.S. stocks are surging as investors cheer to the Federal Reserve's jumbo interest rate cuts. The Dow jumped 400 points today after seesawing and closing lower yesterday. The Fed is taking a more aggressive approach in cutting rates by 0.5%. It's the first rate cut in 4 years, the biggest cut since 2008. Gordon Severson explains how it could affect you.
Economists say credit card debt, the amount of interest you pay to the credit card company, will likely drop within the next month or 2. We could also see some relief when it comes to car loans, but economists say that change will be slower than with credit cards. Same goes for mortgage rates. Economists say we won't see a big drop right away. We may see them gradually go down over the next couple of months. Bad news is, if you're a saver and you're socking away money into savings account, CD, or with bonds, economists say those rates will go down and you will earn less money on your savings.
We have a big update to share out of St. Paul. In the last 24 hours, the City Council approved a new cannabis ordinance allowing dispensaries to set up shop where most other retail stores are allowed. Here's a breakdown of what it says. First, these businesses cannot be within 300 feet of schools. The ordinance also outlines where marijuana can be grown and processed in the city. Many point out the economic benefits. Some residents still have concerns, though, especially regarding air quality and public health.
How do we mitigate that odor so that, you don't have that skunky smell permeating throughout neighborhoods and affecting residents?
It's really important to realizing the economic opportunity it represents, right? We can generate and collect local sales tax. We can use that revenue to help the city in other ways. So eager to see what grows of it.
And that was Council President Metra Jaleh, who you just heard there. She also addressed concerns over air quality, saying state law sets standards for how facilities regulate odors on and off property. Looking ahead to the weekend, the next Open Street Minneapolis is happening this Saturday. This time, you can find it on West Broadway Avenue. The street will be closed from Lindale Avenue to Penn Avenue as local businesses, artists, and community groups come together. The West Broadway Business Coalition says there will be more than 250 vendors and activities across 17 blocks, all of it happening from 11 to 5 p.m. Listen, I had the honor of hosting Girl Scouts of River Valley's Celebrate Changemakers event at Mosaic Center downtown Minneapolis this morning. And what a high energy, exciting time we had. We couldn't help but be inspired. 8 dynamic women and Girl Scouts were honored for their leadership in our communities. Each one a perfect example of courage, confidence, character, and curiosity. We had a fireside chat with a corporate leader and mental health practitioner about how we as a community can support the growth of leadership for our youth. And Girl Scouts River Valley CEO Marissa Williams capped the event with an exciting call to action for all of us to do our part. Congratulations to them.